Hi, today on Gary's Urban Larder, I'm going to make for you an old-fashioned Salisbury steak. And I bet you don't know how old this recipe actually is. Well, let's get started. Okay, I'll take you quickly through the ingredients. First, for the steaks themselves, we have some breadcrumbs. These are brioche breadcrumbs, grated onion, I have a clove of garlic, some Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, a bit of milk, olive oil for the pan, salt and pepper, and of course our meat. So we're going to start with the breadcrumbs in our bowl, and then we're going to add our milk, 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, and we're just going to let that soak in. And to that we're going to add the onion, and we're going to grate in about half the clove of the garlic. This is a pretty big piece of garlic, and I like to grate it because it keeps it fine, makes it easier to cook when we have it in the mix itself. So, and we'll put some of this in our gravy as well. So we have that ready. Now I'll add the Worcestershire sauce, about a tablespoon. And we have some Dijon mustard, about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, some cut away. And we will salt and pepper this to taste. Add the meat into this, and we're going to mix it together by hand, very loosely, very quickly. We don't want to overwork the ground beef at all. So I'm now going to add some cracked black pepper. Do this to taste. And we'll add a good 2 pinches of salt. So I'm just going to add some of the olive oil to our pan. So that's ready for us. And then we'll just take our clean hands and we'll mix this all together. And we want to handle it very lightly. You don't want to overdo it. There we go. This adds moisture. It helps to bind. The breadcrumbs and the milk help to bind. We don't need an egg in order to do that. And we're going to shape these into 3 to 4 good size oval steaks. So I want these to be fairly good size. Want them somewhat thick. We don't want to skimp on them. This reminds me of meals as a child. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, green beans. A lot of people think of it as a TV dinner. And the interesting thing that I discovered is that this has a history that dates back to the Civil War. And it dates to a doctor who was named Salisbury, who was one of the first people to associate what we eat with our health. And he thought that actually eating more red meat was better for you. So even though this is a very simple, frugal, and inexpensive meal, I wouldn't eat it 3 times a day, which is something he recommended in terms of the amount of red meat that one needed to be healthy. So I'll just finish shaping these, and then we'll sear them in the pan. Shape the last one. And as soon as our pan comes up to temperature, we will sear these. Well, our pan is up to temperature, and I'm just going to put these in to sear. And I'm just going to lay a couple at a time. So I don't want them too close together. I might be able to get one more in there. I can already smell the onion cooking there. And I just want those to really develop a nice crust. So about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And then we'll take them off and we will make our mushroom and onion gravy. And we will finish cooking our steaks in that gravy. So stand by. I've removed the Salisbury steaks from the pan. They've browned. I'm just going to add some more oil now and our onions. And we want these to start to caramelize. I'll just add a pinch of salt. That always helps to sweat your onions. Once those start to get some color, I will grate in the rest of our garlic. It just takes about 3 to 5 minutes to start to see those caramelize. Give them some color. Now the garlic. And I always know that the garlic has cooked long enough when I can start to smell the garlic in the dish. I can smell the garlic. So now I'm going to add our mushrooms. And mushrooms will release naturally all of their water, and mostly water. And so that will stop the garlic from overcooking. I just want to toss those in the oil. Make sure those get coated. And once those start to soften and give off their water, that's when we'll add a tablespoon or two of flour to make the roux before we add our beef stock. And once we have that thickened to the level we want, we'll add in our steaks. And by the way, I did put the steaks on the clean plate, not the one that the raw meat was on. Those are starting to give off their water. The onion trying to escape. Put them back. And I want those chestnut mushrooms to start to brown a bit as well. So I'll let them sit now for a bit just on the bottom of that hot pan so they can build some color themselves. With the magic of video, you will have gravy. And we can put our Salisbury steaks back in. I've got some potatoes that I'm going to mash and some green beans that we're just going to blanch quickly and serve up alongside. So stick around to the end. If you made it this far, please subscribe to the channel if you're not a member. And leave a comment, drop a comment below. What's your memory of Salisbury steak? Was it a good thing? Was it a horrible TV dinner? Or was this something you enjoyed with your family? Let me know. And our mushrooms are starting to get a little color. We want that. It adds extra flavor to the dish. This doesn't have to be a boring, bland dish, which some of you might remember. I mean, with the right spicing. In fact, I'm going to add a bit more salt and some black pepper. It really is flavorful and delicious. And pennies to produce, really. So I'll just keep sauteing these mushrooms. They're starting to get really soft now. Well, those mushrooms have had about 5 minutes to cook, and now I'm going to add flour and just mix that through the mushrooms and the onions before deglazing. And this way we'll avoid any lumps in our gravy. So I just want to cook off a bit of the flour flavor, well, all of the flour flavor, before adding our stock. Okay, that's looking good. I'm just going to raise the temperature just a little bit because the liquid will cool it. And this is 2 cups, half a liter of a good beef stock. And it goes. I want you to smell this. I wish you could. It is smelling absolutely beautiful. Delicious. Okay, we've come to the point where the gravy is starting to reduce and thicken, and then we want to add in our steaks and any of the juices from the resting. So I'm just put those gently into our pan. It's quite full. I think we'll get all 4 in there. So I did taste the sauce just before putting in these partly cooked steaks. And that's the point. You want to taste it and adjust for seasoning. And it didn't need any additional salt. So I'm just going to let the bubble away uncovered for a little while. And when it thickens up sufficiently, where I want it for our gravy, about 10 minutes, we'll reduce it right down and we'll cover it. So that will take really a short time. Just trying to get these steaks under that gravy so they cook and the flavors meld. It's looking good. Reduce that a bit more. And now all we have to do is wait. Well, we've let the Salisbury steaks and the gravy cook, simmer for about 10-15 minutes. The gravy needs to thicken just a little bit more, but I've got my mashed potato and my side of green beans waiting for this wonderful treat. So I can't wait any longer. Look at that. I'm just going to serve it up. Got a spoon here to get some of the gravy. The mushrooms. Looks amazing. Looks beautiful. What do you think? Smells wonderful. Reminds me of home and my childhood long, long ago. Well, shall we give it a taste? Really, really does smell wonderful. Just going to start with some of the gravy and the potatoes. Build my anticipation. That's delicious. And now for the steak itself. It tastes wonderful. It has that umami flavor of Salisbury steak that comes from the Worcestershire sauce, the onions. It's really delicious and just want to keep eating it. So one more bite. It works beautifully with the mash and, of course, the green beans, which I will enjoy. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single recipe. And please, finally, do share this video with your friends. It helps to build the community, which helps the channel out. Well, until next time, bye-bye.